touching the lives of local people every day.
Welcome back and welcome to Business Extra. Tonight we're talking growing your own managers, bringing through the leaders of the future. We're here at Norse, who a few years ago, because of their expansion, realised that their talent pool was starting to run out. The future directors and managers simply weren't there. They needed to bring their own people through. I've been finding out how they've been doing that and the advice they'd have for other businesses in Norwich and Norfolk if they wanted to do the same. But first, let's catch up on the business headlines from the week.
Thanks, Neil. Well, let's start with some business reaction to some of the contents of the Queen's speech. We'll start with Aviva, who are welcoming plans to fight back against compensation culture. The Norwich-based insurer have been lobbying for a change in legislation and have welcomed the news, which it said would support honest drivers. It'll ban offers to settle claims without the support of medical evidence and introduce a new fixed tariff of payouts for whiplash injuries with a duration of up to 2 years. Some new blood's arriving on Norwich Market. It's by bringing in new pop-up stalls, which will give new businesses the chance to try out short-term agreements from just a few days to a month. The scheme's hoping to breathe some fresh life into Norwich Market. 9 previously empty ones are part of the pop-up project.
Well, this is all part of our 10-year market plan to change the market and make it more dynamic while retaining its better points, really. So our market team have worked really hard on this, had some great ideas to bring new people to the market. And this is just the start. They're taster stalls, so they're going to have a look, see to see if they like it. If they don't like it, fair enough, but we think they will. And if they think they can make a go of it, come back and see us, come back and join us on the market.
And finally, Swinton Insurance have confirmed they won't be closing any of their Norfolk branches as part of their restructuring programme. You'll remember back in April it was looking to close up to 84 of its 194 branches and its Norwich call centre. But earlier this week they confirmed the High Street branches in Norwich, Kings Lynn and Great Yarmouth won't be among the closures.
Okay, welcome back. We are here at Norse, as we were saying, looking at how you go about training your own managers. Refilling the pool is a term they've been using. Let's find out a bit more what they've been doing with bringing through their own graduates to make sure they've got the managers of the future. I'm joined by Tricia Fuller, who is their HR Director, and Dean Wetland, who's their Managing Director as well. Good afternoon to both of you. Let's start with why you actually went about doing this in the first place. Dean, I'll start with you. What was the idea behind it?
Yeah, well, pretty much, the company, we've got £200 million turnover now, 8,000 employees, and as we've been growing over the years, we've been using up a lot of our talent to come through because of the culture of the business. We need people who understand that to come through and develop through the business, and we've pretty much used up that talent pool over the sort of last few years. So we decided using the graduates, we could bring people in, they can understand the culture of the business again, and come through. And we've got about 17 graduates at this moment in time in the business. We've employed another 7 this year in various different roles, from IT, operational, sales and marketing as well. So they're going to help us fill that pool for the future. So hopefully our future directors of this business will come through that pool. So that was our main key aim, really, while we've done it.
Because Tricia, sort of 4 or 5 years ago, was that when it was noticed that there could be a gap here, that the pool of talent was running out?
Yeah, we've got great reputations for promoting our own and developing our own talent. 50% of our directors are internal promotions, so we grow our own, recruit for attitude, train for skills. So about 5 years ago we were fairly short on the ground. Average age here about 50, 55, so you need some new blood coming in.
So I guess that could cause problems further down the road. You don't want to be in that situation in 5-10 years' time.
Indeed, and it's that legacy, it's that intellectual property, and graduates alongside our apprentices are just the perfect fill for that, because we can recruit the right ones and develop them through. We look after them incredibly well, and the idea is we don't give them jobs, we give them careers.
Because I guess the attitude might be from a lot of people, if you want to get on, you might have to leave businesses to climb the ladder. Is that something you wanted to avoid?
We do need to avoid that, insofar as we are so diverse, we've got so many opportunities that people can develop their career. They don't stay in one place, they're not static, so they can move across and develop a really, really meaningful career within this organisation.
But Dean, what are the advantages of actually training your own managers? As I said, people might think you have to move around to get the experience, but can there be definite advantages of, when you find good people, bringing them through yourself?
Yeah, I think for us as Norse, it's really key, and as I mentioned a little earlier on, it's about the culture of the business. We are a little bit of a different company, is we sort of sit in that commercial world, but we also sit in the public sector as well. For people to understand that coming in fresh is a little bit difficult, but bringing in graduates who can then go through the whole scheme and see it from top to bottom of the whole business, they understand that culture. So when they come into the middle and the senior management positions, they understand that culture and the principles of the company, and they can come through and really carry on what the company and the foundations that it's built on.
So it helps, they know the shop floor, they know the coalface,
exactly.
they've got their hands
dirty. They know
dirty.
the ins and outs, warts and all.
But what are the challenges of actually bringing people through like that and teaching them those management skills?
Yeah, it's really interesting because we try and not take absolute newbie graduates. We like them to have had a few months, if not a year, out in the real world, so that when they come to us, they kind of find themselves, they've already done some work. And the challenges are that, you have to be prepared to invest a lot of time and a lot of energy, and you have to allow them to challenge you on some of the status quo things that go on. And so it's managing their expectation alongside our expectation and making sure our current managers don't feel pushed out by them.
Well, that was something I was going to get onto. When you've sort of earmarked these people for greatness, if you will, how does that go down within the wider business, and how do you manage that, I suppose?
Yeah, well, I think early days that was quite difficult to manage, but I think the graduates themselves are managing that because they have demonstrated that they're not here sitting just looking on, they're actually contributing to the real running of the business. So managers actually see them as a very, very useful resource, and managers have learned a lot of things from them as well, so there's a kind of a balance between the two.
So when it comes to actually getting people into the business and the right people, when people are going to their careers advisor and saying, I want to be this, I want to be that, I guess a company like Norse and the wide variety of things you do might not immediately come up on someone's tick list of things they want to do. Is that one of the reasons this is being done, Dick?
Yeah, I think you talk about facilities management. We say an FM company, and people think it's some kind of radio station or something. People don't necessarily relate straight away to FM. But when you start talking, as I mentioned before, about different roles we do, we talk about sales and marketing. We talk about IT roles that we can do. We can talk about finance roles or the general operational roles. And as soon as you get the adverts out there and you get the information out there, people say, "Oh, that's what I want to do." But what they do is they come in, they might want a finance role, and then suddenly they come in and they start seeing the different aspects of the business and say, well, actually, I understand FM now, and actually I want to get into operations, or I want to move into IT. And we allow the schemes so people can be flexible and not pigeonholed into a certain discipline. They're able to be flexible and look around the business and then go what best suits them, because what suits them at 23, 24-year-old might not suit them when they're 30 years old.
Now, this is something that's worked for you over the last few years, but if we widen this up to other businesses, maybe in Norwich, Norfolk, are wanting to do something similar, what kind of, I guess you've learned some things over this time, what advice would you give them?
Yeah, I think the first thing is what I said earlier on is I wouldn't take a new graduate direct from university. I think they need to have a little bit of experience, if only 6 months out, because if they walk into what they see as their dream job, they think it's easy, so they need to really value what they're getting. But I think I'd say to any other business, invest. Don't give them a job, don't stick them up a corner. Make sure they do exactly what Dean has just said. They have the opportunity to wander, to think, reflect, and see the different parts of the business. And it doesn't really matter what degree they follow, other than in the very specific ones, building surveying that we do. But it doesn't really matter what degree they have. We've got somebody who's got an archaeology degree, who's one of our graduates doing finance management. So, as long as they have a decent degree, I wouldn't worry too much about what that degree is about.
And Dean, we've been talking about development and growth. For you, does this put a company like Lawson in safe hands, the fact that people who've got the experience from the ground level can go forward and be the managers? And you say the directors.
Yeah, the company's always been based on pretty intensive taking people through the company and coming through. Myself, I joined the company 13 years ago as a commercial manager, then went to commercial director, went to group director, and now managing director for the last 6 months. So the company is always built on them foundations, and this just gives us that new skill sets, new people coming in to learn them. But that doesn't take away from our current staff as well and giving them the opportunities to come through as well. This is just building that talent pool even bigger.
Well, Dean, Tricia, thank you very much indeed. That's all the time we've got for the moment, but that's what Norse have been doing to try and refill their talent pool. When they saw a gap in managers of the future, they went about and they grew their own, something plenty of businesses can learn from. As I said, that is all the time for we have for Business Extra for this week. We're back at the same time next week. Have a very good night.
touching the lives of local people every day.